station for the students and the show for everyone. Officially live, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 4 p.m. You're back with Officially Live, and right now we have an exclusive interview. I know if you were at the Hillary Clinton rally this past Friday, I know you pretty much, it was a jaw dropper.
You experienced everything.
Yes, it was definitely a jaw dropper towards the end of the rally. I'm talking about AUC Shut It Down. AUC Shut It Down came and they protested Miss Hillary Clinton's rally, and it had everybody talking all weekend long. So we have two of the protesters here, and we're here to talk to them and have to let us know a little bit about themselves and what they stand for. So you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hey everybody, I'm Clarissa Brooks. I am a sophomore English major, writing minor from Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right, Charlotte.
Hey y'all, my name's Avery. I'm a junior sociology major at Morehouse College from Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay, right. Iowa. Is there a lot of black people in Iowa?
Yeah, we're there. Just, we're in the same place, I'll say that.
Okay.
We all stay together.
Okay, sure. So, we have to talk about what happened Friday. What made you guys do that? First off, take me through the process and take everybody through the process of, how you came about doing it. Did you plan this? Was this, I guess a hoax? Was it something that was, made up from the Hillary Clinton campaign? Because a lot of people think that, oh, no, this is planned. It was staged. Hillary did this. This is a Hillary's doing, So was that the case?
Well, I guess this is the place to answer our questions. No, definitely we have no connection to anybody about it being a hoax. This action came straight from students in the AUC, and we planned, organized, and executed. The reason that we even started talking about it was because we have seen for a long time presidential candidates exploit, black spaces. We've seen them use HBCUs as a way to come to their campuses and really say what they're going to say to get us riled up, right? And then get in office and not really do what they're supposed to be doing for us. And we've seen politicians doing it over and over again.
Yeah.
And the AUC Shut It Down has been organizing and doing community work for about a year now. And when we heard it, we were like, we have all these qualms with Hillary Clinton. We have all these qualms with what she has shown in her career. And it would be wrong for us to allow her to come into this space and do it again, and then for us to complain afterwards.
Right, exactly.
So we really stick to what we talk about, and we move on. And I think that's what we showed the AEC in the city.
I honestly think that y'all did the right thing completely, because there's a lot of people that they take it to social media before they take it into action.
Right.
People always try to seem like they're black activists on social media. You get what I'm saying? And it takes a certain type of person to really stand up and say something in the public. You get what I'm saying? I feel like y'all did what was right. Honestly, I just want to know what gave y'all the drive, the encouragement to get up and actually do it, because there's a difference from rallying up and saying, okay, we gonna do this.
Yeah.
Right.
But when you get there, you like, dang, like we really here right now.
That take a lot. That's a lot of courage.
I can't even lie. If I was a part of it, I'd have probably been like, dang, like we really here. Like my heart would have been
time to go.
Because you gotta think about it. A lot of protesters, like when you protest, it can go the good way, it can go bad.
It can go really good.
And this is somebody. This is Hillary Clinton we talking about.
Right. And so that's what we prepared for. So we had a couple meetings planning the action, talking about it, but actually we met up before we did the action, and we gave each other emergency contact numbers. We talked about plans of where we were going to meet up afterwards if anything went left. So we had it planned out if things were to go left, what we were going to do. If things were to go well, what we were going to do. So we had a statement prepared if we were allowed on stage. And we had set out what was going to happen, and we understood those consequences. So we understood if somebody got hurt, like that was a possibility. It was possible for us to get arrested. We understood that. And that was the scary part. It was like we had to have discussions about, okay, people might lose scholarships. Who really wants to do this? And we were like, if we really want to do this, we really have to like sleep on this, come back to this.
That's deep.
And then day of, like whoever showed up at the meeting place, we were like, okay,
this is
what we're doing. Yeah. So
did you guys feel like, because I know you guys go to you go to Spelman, right? So did you guys feel like if it was held at like the King's Chapel or something else, that it would have been handled a little differently than what
That's
it
what
was.
I've been
because that was
hearing.
that
Because
was
that
a
was
lot
also
of grief
another-
from a lot of
And I
people.
understand that, but if Hillary Clinton would have went to the Civic Center, we would have still been there.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
So I don't think people understand that AUC Shut It Down is a family of AUC students, and we represent AUC Collective,
Right.
and that's what we've been representing for the past year. We've been organizing, right?
Right.
And one thing that we have really pushed is this idea of AUC unity because we
Right.
don't get the division,
Yes.
not only
I
within the
love that.
AUC but in the Black community in general.
I love that.
So I think it's really funny when we all push AUC unity, but when it's time for us to move and really defend each other, because we defended the AUC. That's what we're saying. We defended someone who was disrespecting the AUC by coming in and not really addressing us.
In all
Right.
schools.
But now it's like when we're trying to unify, now everybody wants to be divisive.
Right.
So now it's like, well, y'all are over there on that end of the AUC, but y'all ain't really part of us, so y'all come over here and embarrass us.
Yeah.
Right.
When in
See,
reality,
I think a lot of the reason a lot of Black people are mad because this is something that happened at a HBCU. It happened at Clark, and for Black people, our colleges are sacred to us,
Right.
and
Exactly.
we feel that Hillary Clinton, that was a good look for Clark Atlanta for her to be here, and
And they
then
feel like-
for it to go left, and for you guys to intervene, it kind of like.
Disturbs some
It
people.
really
Yeah.
disturbed some people. And not to say that what you did was wrong. A lot of people agree with what you did. A lot of applause was there, but it was just that it happened on pretty much sacred grounds. And a lot of people wish that if it was at the Civic Center, maybe it would have been a little better. But say if this happened like at a Black church or something like that, things like that in a Black community really are taken, serious for Black people. And it takes it, it touches home with a lot of people. I know that for me, I necessarily didn't agree with the approach, but I could understand and I could, sympathize with, the way you guys, the reasoning for it and everything. I wouldn't have, thought for you guys to do it at that rally, especially not on our campus, but your reasoning for it and, behind it, I could understand that.
yeah, I understand. I think that's one of the reasons why we did do it was because it was on sacred ground. And we feel like Hillary Clinton was coming here because she knew it was a good look.
Right.
And I think with the question that we need to ask as Black college students and people who are supposed to really critically engage with these politicians is, why is Hillary Clinton coming to our campus a good look? Why is someone who fueled mass incarceration coming to our campus a good look when we are all experiencing the victims? We are all, really experiencing the trauma of some of the things that she's pushed forward. So I think we need to go past the fact that she's somebody who just has Secret Service and that she's coming to our campus and bringing cameras. But we're looking at what it means for someone who has locked Black people up unfairly and pushed that agenda to come to our campus with Black people who are victims of that, people whose families are victims of that same trauma, and what that means. So I don't think Hillary Clinton comes to our campus with a good look at all. I think that's the issue that we should address as a large student body.
Because a lot of people think it was a good
I think,
Right.
I
And
think
that was-
she really I think she really came and she brought a show. She wasn't really talking about
That
anything. And that's why I chose not to go. I'm sorry, Hillary, I didn't go.
Right.
But honestly, I didn't feel the need to go because I felt like, okay, when she came in, she approached it a certain way. She brought people that intrigued the our community.
Black elite, yeah.
Right. She brought actors, she brought Monica, she brought Usher, she brought, you know what I'm saying?
But
these people,
And that was
isn't
the
that
biggest
something?
issue,
Isn't
right?
that something that people in a political campaign
Why-
would do to
but at-
attract?
but
the
no, why would
supporters?
you? Okay,
because
that's
let's see, like let's say for instance, President Barack Obama, when he did his campaign, he had pretty much so many supporters. He had Beyonce and
He also
Oprah.
centered Black people in his policy and his agenda. We haven't seen
He
that from
did
Hillary
too.
Clinton.
Yeah.
We haven't
But
seen
that was
anything
the
from
biggest
her.
issue for us, like even being in that space. We were in the holding room in VIP, and just to see all of these Black celebrities showing up for her, it was disrespectful. It's about the fact that her
using
people,
them.
her staff decided that we know how this conversation needs to go, and we're going to decide. We know that there's one idea of how Black people are, and since we're alum, because she did have HBCU alum on her staff, they decided that okay, if we just bring some celebrities, we say that HBCUs are for Hillary, they're going to show up, they're going to get excited, and they're going to vote because the Clinton name itself has always had Black
Can you
people.
tell us?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the VIP holding room? Like what's?
Yeah, so basically we were just in like a classroom in the gym with Keisha Knight Pulliam. Usher was in a different room. The dude from Living Single.
Terry Vaughn, wasn't it?
Terry Vaughn. Yeah, so there were a lot of like freedom fighters there. A lot of older civil rights leaders were in the same room with us, and we knew what we were going to do, so we were nervous about that. But just being in that space, she's bringing all of these important civil rights leaders, saying that they have her vote and using them as pawns to get the Black vote.
There were no students back there besides
There were
us.
no
How did you guys
That's
get back
that's
there?
another
'Cause that's
question
what.
about it being
How did you guys
staged.
get back
How-
there?
Well, that's and this is what our answer has been to that question continuously, is we are people who are committed to this movement and dedicated to what we want to do, right? And whatever we need to do, we will do.
So were you invited back there, or did you maneuver and
Oh, we were invited. We were on the list. We were on the VIP list.
So who invited you?
But they knew we're not gonna release who invited us.
So that's
Oh, so it's the inside thing.
so it's
That's
inside,
what-
because that's what throws people off. Like,
Is that
was it planned by Hillary?
It was. I will guarantee, if you have seen the video, it's definitely not planned by Hillary, and I don't think there's anything to support that. But I will say that we got on that list because they knew who we were. They knew we were black students who organized around Black Lives Matter movement, and the strategy was to get us at the table and to make us feel like we were welcome, so that we would be on hush, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
they were even using us as
if you keep us close, then we won't cause any problems, and that's the only answer that we can respond. I guess.
So do you think they knew what they were doing?
That they knew we were going to disrupt?
by inviting us.
Definitely not.
You don't think so?
You think that having us at that rally was planned by Hillary's campaign for what?
A lot of people do.
disrupt.
Okay, so what benefit? What has Hillary gained from this? I guess what has her campaign?
More exposure on for
What is
campus.
it? What has they exposed to? Because I think a lot of people are willing to twist this into something that has benefited Hillary, but not really recognizing that Hillary still has not released a campaign and has not released a platform, right? And she's in her PR people have we just saw in the hallway, they just met with Tamir Rice's family, so they're trying to fix this, right? And the conversation that we're having and we're pushing is us controlling the narrative because we're organizers and we guarantee that would happen because that's how we set up our movement.
And also, if they had decided, okay, we're going to bring these Black Lives Matter protesters, students, and we know they're going to disrupt, and that's what we need for our publicity, then Hillary would have come out and spoke to us, and she didn't. She had her black staff come control us. She had whatever usher came out, like she didn't come out, and she.
Was that after the fact or before?
After the fact. Before, she didn't speak to us. She didn't even know who we were when we took a picture with her. She was just, I'm taking pictures with people. They're black. They're telling me to do something. I'm just gonna take pictures with them.
Well, she took pictures with countless people. Also.
Right. Which we understand, but if they really wanted to use us in that way, she would have spoke to us.
And I think the fact that people are even willing to try to connect this to us trying to push Hillary's agenda says something about the student population right now, right? It says something about the willingness of students to really engage on issues beyond conspiracy.
Yeah.
Because what we did is reflective of a population of people who are not willing to just have someone talk about these issues but not really back them up. And what we have seen in the history of the United States and through the history of these elections is people just talk about these things and not really be about them. And for someone to minimize the efforts of someone, to minimize the sacrifices that the AUC SHUTITDOWN has made, and the emotional sacrifice that we have made, we were crying afterwards, right?
Yeah,
and we were talking about it yesterday. People were crying again. And for someone to minimize the emotional sacrifices that we're making, the academic sacrifices that we are making to be involved in this work is really disrespectful and it's an insult. And I personally won't tolerate people insulting AUC SHUTITDOWN after watching what we have been through and what we have invested ourselves in for the past year. And I think what we also need to recognize is that people who are involved in this movement have been building a political ideology for time, right? Yeah. And it's really interesting that the AUC has a political stance after someone makes an action that makes them quote unquote look bad. So if you're going to engage in conversation with people who have been building a political ideology for a year, then you need to have something to back it up. Because we have spent a year building a political ideology and really building what it means to be involved in politics and to be involved in social justice. And if you're going to interject after we do something the way that we believe and that we have spent a year justifying, then I thought that's a problem. And you need to really look at what it means for you to understand your own political ideology.
So what do you think, for your advice for the students on campus who were a little offended or more offended about, what would you say to them? Like, do they need to, check themselves? And
offended about the action or?
Offended about the action, how it was executed.
Right.
Involved, the people who were involved.
Right. I know a lot of people have been saying that it was just Bowen and Morehouse, and we do have Clark students on AUC SHUTITDOWN. I would say if they feel offended, we have a statement that we released before we did the action that actually verbatim explains why we did it. And it explains why we feel she disrespected our space, why she's using these black celebrities and black civil rights leaders to get the black vote, how she didn't engage with any students when she came. Like there was a conference call with the Young Democrats, and she told them to turn their phone off and they weren't allowed to speak. She spoke with no students, no administration.
So would you guys have preferred like a town hall? Was that
right?
Yes.
I guess. I mean, I don't.
What would you have wanted her to do?
What I would have wanted Hillary to do is to roll out a policy that really centers Black people in her agenda. I don't
to
need
respect our space.
Hillary Clinton has built a career on talking and giving speeches, and I think at this point we've heard enough speeches. And everybody keeps saying, "You guys didn't give a chance to listen to her."
I heard
That's
she
what I was saying.
because she really didn't talk about anything.
Well,
that
she
really
talked about.
encouraged the
Well, I know
environment of
she
of the
talked
Black
about
community.
cutting college tuition and.
She talked about a lot of great things.
Yeah, she did.
But she's been talking about them for the last 5 years, and we have seen no policy introduction. We have seen no platforms really released, and that's the issue.
Because tuition is going up every year.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, if you're, how are you really going to combat this? And she's had meetings, and we've, of course, people want to sit down with us now. People want to have conversation with us now, because they recognize the kind of PR that's being ruined because of our conversation. But we recognize that we don't want to have a meeting with Hillary. We don't want a private conversation with Hillary. We want Hillary Clinton to get on that national debate and to address the issues that are affecting Black people that she's addressing in these private meetings. Because Hillary Clinton is a politician.
She is.
And we saw that.
She's a politician who I think most recently she has been dealing with like emails and
she's not for presidential candidate. She gonna get emails.
Is. So
she
the
letters,
emails, it was the email scandal,
scandal,
and she just went through a hearing that just so it's a lot of things. And plus, we also have to realize that even though she is a public figure, she's a politician, but she's not in the position of power right now to make these decisions. She's in the position of power when she was Secretary of State. She doesnn't hold that position right now. But these are pretty much just proposals right now.
But I think the thing that we have to realize is that Black people are still dying every single day.
They are.
And when we say policy, we mean like, if you're going to talk about lowering college tuition, and if she's saying Wall Street and the top 10% need to be paying or need to
what
be
does that look like?
So what does that actually mean? So how are you going to actually institute that? Not just we need to lower tuition. People need to be working 10 hours a week. If I already have 2 jobs and I'm a college student, do you really think I want to work another extra 10 hours to pay back my tuition? That's not a feasible goal, right?
Not.
Wait.
And that doesn't.
Why would you work 2 jobs to pay back your tuition?
She's saying that there has to be a job, like a minimum amount of hours for you to be paying back your tuition throughout school. And imagine doing this as a freshman. So a lot of her policies either aren't reasonable. Her policies on campus sexual
But give us
assault.
something to critique. She didn't even give us something to critique yet.
Right,
She's
exactly.
just talking. Everybody
and these are all just platforms. And I think she has gone through a lot. But I know for myself, I don't want to see another hashtag. I don't want to see.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Given the opportunity, would you have done anything differently at all about the way you did?
No.
Because I wanted to ask you in particular, when you had these, like, I guess, political icons and legends there, like Andrew Young and John Lewis, they, who got up out their seats to, pretty much calm you guys down and diffuse the situation. What did they say to you guys, and how did that make you feel in the, in that moment? Like, did it make you feel any type of way?
Definitely. I'm definitely, and I'm still overwhelmed, but disappointed in the reactions that we got, but they were expected. So what we've seen lately in the careers of Andrew Young, John Lewis, and Kasim Reed have not been the kind of centering of Black lives that we would hope, and not the kind of centering of Black lives that they were pushing when they were our age. But I think what we did was we really gave an opportunity to magnify the difference in the Black elite and the Black representation at these tables and the ideologies of Black people who are involved in social justice work on the ground. And so Kasim Reed, personally, I'm not surprised at all by his actions. Kasim Reed has been very heavily involved in the privatization of Atlanta and the gentrification of Atlanta, and he support that and he'd vocalize that. So I'm not surprised by him supporting Hillary. John Lewis, on the other hand, I'm very, very surprised I was surprised when he touched me, right? I was surprised when these people, got physical with me and got in my ear, the things they were saying in my ear.
It was laying hands.
Because it's like right before we interrupted, he went on stage and was talking about how he left blood in Selma and how he gave blood for this movement, right? And it's like the sense of urgency that he had to give blood we can't have that same sense of urgency. And it's like, because he switched roles and he wants to sit in these official positions, that the role that we play as people to put pressure onto these politicians and to help them do their job, he wants to discredit because it's not him. And I think that's very disappointing. And the conversation we had with Andrew Young afterwards, and it's all very disappointing to have people that you're supposed to be pulling on for guidance, really putting a break and almost disrespecting you.
Well, you don't think they were guiding you in a way since they've been through it?
They weren't. No. So what do you think? How they were guiding us? How would they?
Like, were they, saying, hey, let her speak, because she hadn't finished. even though you said she had been talking,
We didn't want her to speak.
she's given, she had been given this opportunity to speak and address people for a while, but she had, I guess this would have been the moment to, let her finish. So you can listen to exactly, because she, I believe she was getting to it. Maybe she was.
She wasn't.
After
She doesn't.
you all left the building, did she address anything?
No, that's
No. So we have read the transcript since,
Right,
and I think that's the part.
Okay.
That's not even the major thing. But so everybody keeps saying, "Well, you didn't let her talk." Well, she was scripted. Okay, her speech was going to be said no matter what, and we heard that speech, and she didn't say nothing new.
So wait, so you guys interrupted before she started talking?
We
interrupted
It was
while
like
she was
mid
talking.
when she was
Right.
talking.
Oh,
And mind
okay.
you, she started off her speech talking about how when she was younger, she waited in line to meet Martin Luther King and
And she went to Pascal's.
Right, and so first of all, we realized Martin Luther King went to Morehouse. Second of all, we realized Pascal's is down the street. You don't have to use those two themes and stereotypes to get the black vote. That's disrespectful. And something I also wanted to add was we weren't escorted out. We were forcibly removed. So
People keep moving.
we weren't escorted. So
You can watch the video on YouTube. It's on YouTube. So
So Avery and Sharanti, they told us that they were going to go on stage, and we said that if they go on stage, we'll stop chanting, be quiet. And they didn't go on stage. They actually took them outside. So I linked up with everybody else, and we decided, okay, cool, we're not moving. And Secret Service was in front of me, and Secret Service said, this is about 5 more minutes of us still chanting, still going on. He said, if you don't move, I'm going to body slam you. And I said, cool, this is time for us to go, right? So we knew that violence was possible,
and at
but
that
we weren't going
and
to.
at that moment, you're like,
Right, at that
emotions are
moment, I'm
getting the
thinking
best
of my mother, I'm thinking of everybody else, and AUC shut it down, so I'm like, okay,
Nobody's
it's
thinking about
time
that.
to go. So we didn't leave on our own. And I even was holding on to a bar as we left, broke my nail, and we were still forcibly, I was manhandled down the stairs linked up with 4 other people. That wasn't it.
Janelle.
Yeah.
So once outside the building, it said that a conversation with Usher happened. Was that a positive or negative conversation?
Yeah.
How did
How
that
did
go?
that
So
transpire?
we afterwards, of course, everyone wanted to run out and talk to us at that point.
Right.
And Usher was one of the people out there, and I will say the media is not doing justice to the conversations that happened
Yeah.
afterwards. And it's not really grasping the full context. And Usher did, for a large portion of the time when he was out there, he was listening to us.
Right.
And there's one clip I think that has been released that people are really highlighting of Usher. But Usher is really, and they have reached out to us since, that he's really involved. He's really interested in trying to have the conversation, really understand what was going on. And he did express a disagreeing with our tactics, but he also did explicitly say he didn't endorse Hillary Clinton. So
Yeah,
I think
he did say that.
nobody has really asked us about that experience, and everybody's running with he came to calm us down, and he really didn't. He really just wanted to have the conversation with us, and I appreciate the fact that he did, because Monica didn't come out,
Right.
Kelly Price didn't come out,
Right.
Kasim Reed didn't come out, President John Wilson didn't come out.
I will say, the conversation I had with him, because I had a couple conversations with him, and he was really understanding. He was kind of he was kind of acting like a parent, very just I'm just trying to understand where y'all are coming from. I'm trying to understand this hostility that y'all have, where it's coming from, why you're upset, and why y'all came here. And he was listening to our stories. He was listening to me and Avery, and he genuinely wanted to hear our purpose.
That's good. Why don't you think some of the other black celebrities
they're
didn't come
too
out and
invested
speak?
in the political agenda that Hillary Clinton is invested in.
Or they left.
And
Yeah.
Kasim Reed and John Lewis, I don't know if you guys saw in the video, but they both, once they realized that we weren't going to leave just because they asked us, Kasim Reed and John Lewis both went on stage to show they had Hillary's quote-unquote back. So that happened. And the president of Morehouse College, John Wilson, was in the mix of the people trying to get us to leave or to just listen to her. And it was all very overwhelming, but I think that they didn't come out because they are invested in the same political agenda that Hillary Clinton is.
Right.
And that political agenda doesn't have an urgency when it comes to centering the lives of black people.
And have you guys received any, I guess, grief or punishment from the heads of your school?
No, I don't expect there to be any punishment because we didn't do anything that was illegal. We didn't violate any code of conduct.
Yeah.
And if any sanctions are applied, they will be met with the same kind of force that they're bringing on us.
So let everybody know if you have anything coming up. Do you have anything that you can tell us?
Yes,
that you have coming up?
so yes, this Thursday, every Thursday, AUC SHUTITDOWN has meetings and they're always open. So this Thursday we're having a meeting and we are specifically going to be providing a space to address these issues. We didn't really clear the air because we understand that AUC is a family and we do owe our family, some type of conversation around these issues. So that is going to be this Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to release the location a little later. And if you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at AUC SHUTITDOWN, we will respond. And email us. We respond to emails.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. And also, just personally, like, if you see us around, if you have a question, like, just talk to us. Just ask. I'm not going to bite you. Like, we're not scary people. So if you have a genuine question, if you're really confused about what happened, just ask.
Okay.
We're totally open for dialogue and conversation.
Well, we appreciate you guys
Thank
coming
y'all
on the
for
show.
coming.
We thank you guys so
Answer
much.
my questions.
Some may agree with what you all did,
Right.
some may not, but it took a lot of courage to do what you guys did. It really did, and we need more of you guys in the AUC. And we're glad you came. We're glad you came.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, we have you anytime. Just let us know, email us, and shout us out or whatever you got to
Definitely.
do. But we'd love to have you guys on again. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
All right, y'all, we're about to go back into another song. But do y'all have any requests? Do y'all, since y'all about to leave, do y'all have any song requests before y'all leave?
I don't know. There's a song called "Hell You Talking About."
Oh Lord,
Great.
I don't even think
Play that.
we uploaded that on the
Put that on
system
the
yet.
list. I need to
We're gonna hit y'all with some of this "Glory" by Common and John Legend. I guess
we go.
that'll be
Keep it in that
appropriate.
vein.
Okay, here it is, y'all. "Glory." Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Officially Live. Make sure you watch some more of our videos and don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Okay? See you later.